Hello everybody, this is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into a long position on this morning's Emini S&P 500, and it's actually quite a very interesting setup. I don't take these as often, but I've been noticing that when these do occur, they produce pretty high probability results on the trade. So hope I'll be able to explain everything before it moves too quickly. Market's just opened, and this means, it's can be super volatile. We had the opening bell, and price shot up. First thing I want to show is that this up bar right here, we engulfed the previous like 15 bars. That in itself is quite bullish. Let me see if I can draw that. So that's about to here. And let me zoom out and let me show what actually I was looking at. Okay, so before the markets opened, I was looking at these support and resistance levels that I drew beforehand. So right here, and this is pre-market, I drew this support line and I drew this resistance line. Why? We had a lot of volume here, a good amount, and price reversed here. And so when what just happened right now, and what I think is going to happen, is that you see all this supply in the MBox delta, right? See all this supply here, and we just jumped right back up. So this looks like effort no result, this box compared to this box, because they're at the same price level, and wasted supply since we jumped right back up. So let me go ahead and label that as such. This is effort no result, and it's also wasted supply. Okay, and I can deduce that from, we're just skyrocketing right back up. Also, what fits the story, and I'm always looking what fits the story, because having something that fails, like wasted supply, this is essentially, it's also failed supply, so wasted supply, I can also call it failed supply, because it did fail. Price did not hold at this support level, and we jumped right up. At the same time, we've got the huge pace of offers. All right, right here, and if we zoom out and compare it to the previous day, this level, this amount of pace of offers is huge. It's the speed of the offers are greater than even the speed of the bids, which was high here for the entire previous day. So this is significant, right? Combined with the effort no result and failed supply, that's also significant, okay? And it looks like the cumulative supply here is also failing. Because price is going up against it. And another thing I wanted to point out was, these signals right here. Price moved against these signals. So these are failed signals. Failed sell signals. So what that actually means is we've had so many failures, it actually makes quite a bullish case when you have so many things failing. It's like a failed breakout or a failed breakdown. When price fails to break out and you notice that, then it goes in the other direction. So that's very similar to what's happening here. We've got a lot of failures, and it looks like we have an effort no results situation here. I think I'm going to take another position, but I want to wait until this candle closes. So that's why I have this countdown timer, you know, to see a direction of price action. So I think it's going. Yeah, all right, I'm in again. I'm going to put my stop right under that bar and go for the same target. All right, so what I'm seeing here is right here, that's also effort no result. Because look at how much selling there was right here, and look at that tiny box. If we can see it, I'll zoom in. Now look at that tiny, it was like a 2-tick box right here, and look how much it spent versus, you know, look at this price movement went up here very easily on, it didn't require much buying since supply essentially was exhausted. You know, it's like trying to keep a inflated ball under a swimming pool, and you know, once you let it go, it just pops right up, you know, to the surface, and that's what happened here. So I'll also like to call that, see, everything is moving very quickly on this chart, and I have to do the analysis while I'm recording this, but that's okay. This is ease of movement. You know, this is the way I interpret it. And very often, you know, when you see effort no result, like you do here, and we conclude that it's failed supply, we can conclude that because of how easily price moves up, you know. And at this point, you know, it can be allowed for demand to come in and for price to be pushed up. So what I'd really like to stress here, and it looks like, you know, it's going in our direction, is the you know, all this failed sort of supply and the effort no result, and that in itself, when you see all these failures, that actually is very bullish, you know. So when price, you know, breaks through these previous signals, these signals become bullish because they weren't able to keep price down. And same thing with this MBox supply here. When we burst it back up, we saw that, you know, all this selling, and it couldn't keep price down. And when we compared it to this you know, resistance, support line, right? Everything has to be in context. Previous. You know, we're not just randomly looking at, you know, things. Usually, I like to look at the support and resistance lines to give context, because at this price level we had this much selling, and we came back down, we had a lot more, and price, you know, failed to, you know, the supply failed to keep price down. You know, we had the huge pace of offers, that was bullish. So all this is bullish, all this is extremely bullish. And so I took a second position on this effort no result, and now it looks like there's some time. I'll explain my well, I put my take profit at this level just because it was a previous resistance. You know, and it seems like if price is gonna climb up, that, you know, this could be a good exit point. I mean, reality is, you know, it could be a zone, you know, but that's where I put it. All right, well, See, this is what's going on right now, the minus 177. So we're getting quite a bit of selling, even though price is moving up. So I wouldn't bank on this move. I mean, if things continue the way it is, I wouldn't bank on it lasting much longer than the previous resistance level, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to put the record on pause and come back in a little bit, see what happens. Okay, so we're back, and price has been climbing up. Looks like this is the second attempt to touch that resistance line. I think we're hitting it. What are we, a tick? Is it a tick away? There we go. Alright, it hit it. Okay, we're $9,250 in profit for the day. That worked out very nicely. You know, in looking at this line right here, and I'm looking at the indicators, it looks like, you know, we're still heavy in the supply here. You know, I don't see the huge demand. So I can't say that things look that bullish right here, right now, because if we were going to pierce, probably continue to go pierce through this area of resistance, I would like to see some more demand here in the cumulative delta, but I don't see it. Maybe it could happen, but right now that's not the case. So actually that worked out quite nicely. I'm very pleased. You know, I'm starting to notice more of these failed you know, failed setups, and you know, when those combine, they can actually turn into some very powerful trades. That's it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.